Well, good morning. This is Al Keatsman with Copier Consulting. Today I have Pastor Jonathan Fischer with us from Our Savior Lutheran Church in Grafton, Wisconsin. Pastor and their treasurer and I worked together on a copier project for the church, and it was a little over a year ago. And today we just wanted to jump on here and hear how Pastor Fischer felt about the process and just share his candid and frank and honest feedback. So, Pastor, welcome to the YouTube channel for Copier Consulting. I look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. Yeah. It was a great experience working with you, Al. I found that the insights you brought into the copier procurement process insightful, helping us understand the differences between the brands and where they were different and where they weren't different. Um, uh, yeah. And the questions that you brought to ask vendors was also insightful. A lot of the questions you had, I never would have thought of myself, much less realized they were something that was negotiable.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, and that's a lot of times the case. People that are buying something, and we're all buyers at some level, we're just never really sure all of the questions that we should be asking, when to ask them, and even why. And
mhm.
so it is just a unique message. I enjoy doing what I'm doing, and I primarily love working with the private Christian educational church and school organizations. At the time that we had met, I saw what I consider an unusual situation in that you had two different leases on the same device, meaning the first one was for 36 months and the second one was for 24. It still equated to 60 months, which is the usual term. Were you around at the time that that release going into that second one was signed?
I was not. So all of
Okay.
that was done before I became a pastor here.
Yeah.
Um, so I was only involved in the last year of use before we transferred.
Okay. And just for
It's-
the record for the audience, that was a 2019 to 2022 36-month lease, and then 22 to 24 was a 24. I found that there were different omissions in that first lease, and that there was no case notes or any indication that they shared with you the options that you had to buy it out and spend less money. They actually just had you spend quite a lot more money. And when I'm working with somebody like yourself and or Andy, almost always the people I work with on a current contract were not around on that prior 5 year agreement. In your case, the
oh
36 to
yeah.
24, uh, just simply put, because people change jobs or positions or roles and responsibilities, and I think that brings a vulnerability to the buyer because people are left trying to determine what historically occurred and what do we have in front of us and what are our options. Um, were you aware of the different aspects of any part of what we worked on from any other prior job or position as a pastor?
I've been involved in two copier negotiations in the past with different companies.
Okay,
Uh, so I was a little familiar with the process.
sure.
The big difference was we leased with those um, companies and we purchased our copier outright this time.
Yeah. And as we had chatted a little bit before we started this, there was a 41% cost reduction from the old to the new in totality, which was a little over $15,000. And I imagine that's a big deal to churches. Um, Anything that they can save, improve their contracts, eliminate any wasted spend is a big deal. Was there anything that was allocated for the savings? Was there any fun or cool stories where the savings was moved into a different part of the budget? Anything that you're aware of that you could share?
I'm not familiar with that end.
Okay.
Um, it was easier to pass the budget for this upcoming year with the reduced costs on the copier. Uh,
Well, that's good to hear. I appreciate that. We've added a few other affiliates and other expense reduction categories, and we hope that we can increase the overall value to the budgets. I guess if we wrap this up, what would you have for advice for anybody considering our services? Anything that comes to mind?
um, I think the best part is the opportunity to talk through the leases and the questions that you can ask, and the just learning all the different areas you can negotiate with a copier company as you look into a new machine.
Yeah, it's true. There is just a lot of aspects, and I enjoy collaborating with the buyers. So thank you for taking a few moments today to just share your candid thoughts from the project we worked on last year. It is May of 25, and we worked on that project exactly 1 year ago this month, May of 24. So if anybody watching this has any questions for me in particular, my name is Al Keatsman. I'm the founder of Copier Consulting. My email is al@copierconsultingllc.com. Thanks so much, Pastor, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right, you too, Al.
All right. Bye bye.